You know what it starts with? It starts with the freaking quarterback. Well, why are we afraid to start with the quarterback? Defensive line, sure, they're not getting after the quarterback.
They're highly paid.
They're highly paid. They're not getting after the quarterback.
Yes.
Brock Purdy had us out here saying he's playing better football than Mahomes.
Well, he was.
So let's start with the quarterback. You're down 5. You have 2 chances, not 1, 2 chances to lead a game-winning drive.
Back-to-back weeks.
And you know what? Back-to-back weeks. Last week he got away with about 6 no throws. All right, go back and watch the game. He was not good against Cleveland. Hold on. Let me finish my thought. Fourth quarter, you throw 2 interceptions in a 1-score game on Monday Night Football. And you're supposed to be the real deal. You're supposed to be you're Shanahan's guy now. And Kirk Cousins is out there slicing us up. Who's Shanahan, even Super Bowl 54 week, he was talking about Kirk Cousins. Got Jimmy Garoppolo, who played against the Chiefs. He's still talking about Kirk Cousins. Shanahan will always talk about Kirk Cousins. While he's going 35 for 45 for 378, our quarterback, who's supposed to be the best quarterback since Steve Young in a 49ers uniform, threw 2 picks in the fourth quarter.
But I thought he was really good for portions of this game. So that's where I find it very difficult.
Yeah, but you know what? It's money time.
Yeah, but like we
money
as a
time,
fan base,
he failed.
As a fan base, we had 40 calls lined up ready to go, destroying Trey Lance and running him out of town for 7 dropbacks in a preseason game.
Yes, I know.
And yet, in multiple drives in back-to-back weeks, I feel like we are afraid to criticize because of the body of work that he's done in regular season and postseason
Well, I'm
games.
not. You throw 2 picks in the fourth quarter, you deserve heat in this market. And if you throw 2 more picks against Cincinnati, or you throw 2 picks against Jacksonville, it's just a matter of time.
Did I crown him?
It's just a matter of time before we start bringing up the but we all maybe
he was so good against Dallas.
We scored 17 points against that Minnesota defense. And I get it, 3 turnovers. And I know how good he was in the first 3 quarters. Jimmy Garoppolo's good in the first 3 quarters in Super Bowl 54.
Yeah.
Where was that conversation? What was that conversation like?
Yeah, that was a big game.
Where was that conversation like? I was in Chicago where Trey Lance stunk it up at times, but it wasn't monsoon. Did he really get a fair shot? I don't know.
Well, we both agree it's not all on him.
But you're the quarterback of the football team.
You got to be able to overcome. And that's why I'm telling you, the nation is waking up this morning and they're like, I told you Brock's not as good as we thought he was. I just know where this is going.
Well, I'm not saying that at all.
No, I'm saying the nation.
But I'm saying we can't be afraid. Last week I gave him a D, and people got on my line saying, but Philly's still the best team. Well, first of all,
Philly's the number one
I'm going to debunk something right now. Don't mention Philadelphia the rest of the way until we see Philadelphia December 3rd. Do not mention Philadelphia. We're not in their league right now, all right? We got to take care of our own business.
And they swung a deal for a playmaker.
Defensive line is true. We're going to get to the calls in a second. Defensive line has stunk.
Yeah.
Lenore and Ward, they need to look in the mirror. They stunk yesterday. With Brock Purdy throwing 2 picks in the fourth quarter, that can't happen. That can't happen from a quarterback in the NFL.
I do think
that's winning time, Shasky.
If Jimmy did that, we would have had callers lined up for hours.
Any other quarterback in a Niner uniform. And that is the number one story.
Why are we afraid to criticize him?
I don't know why people are afraid. I don't know why. I
think he's good. I think he actually made a lot of plays yesterday under duress. I mean, he had a scramble that reminded me of Steve Young, where I don't know how he didn't get sacked. He scrambles out. It was like a 19, 20-yard scramble. It was an incredible play. I thought he was using his legs. He threw a couple layered dimes. And then in the fourth quarter, the final 2 drives, it just didn't look the same.
No, it didn't. Let's go to the lines here.
So how much do you weigh that?
I don't know, but let's get to Will in San Francisco. Will, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey,
what's
Will.
up, Will?
Morning, fellas. Thanks for taking the call.
Anytime.
Okay, I was going to take you guys back real fast. Take you back just a little bit in history. When we first got Garoppolo, he came in 5 games. Everything was on point, and he got rewarded with the richest contract at the time.
Yes.
He got handed the reins. Next season, all of a sudden, I don't know what happens. Well, actually, it wasn't really quite the next season. But what started happening with Garoppolo is all of a sudden, all the passes started going behind the receiver.
Well, he got hurt.
The passes were too high.
He got hurt. Remember that? He got hurt.
Yeah, I do remember that. But as far as the passes go, they were not there. They started being behind the receiver when the 5 games before, they were perfectly thrown in front of in stride, everything else. And now the same thing I see now with Purdy. And now he was looking like gold. All the passes were in front of the receiver. Nobody was jumping up. They were right there. Now all of a sudden, I noticed this 3 weeks ago, and I was screaming, yelling at the TV, running around the house. I used to play quarterback, not that it has anything to do, but I have a slight idea of what the quarterback position does. But all of his passes, at least 3 weeks ago, if you start looking back, started being behind the receivers now again. The same thing with Garoppolo.
So are you saying the league is catching up to Brock Purdy? Is the game catching up to Brock Purdy? Is things moving too fast? Where are you going here, Will?
What I'm trying to say, I'm almost wondering, is it the coaching that he's getting while they're in there? Because when they come in at first, they're gold. They're looking great. All of a sudden, they've come into the number one position, the number one quarterback, and now they're getting full hands-on with all the coaches. And now all of a sudden, all the passes start slowing down.
All right.
I don't think it's the game. I don't think it's the game.
You think it's Purdy?
I think it's the quarterback. I don't understand. He still is young, so you can still find yourself lost sometimes in the speed of the game. Now with all these rushes, everybody rushing at him, everything else, now every pass is high. No passes are in stride.
I hear you.
Well, I'll tell you, it feels like we're in a Nick at Night reruns where I'm hearing the Shanahan's quarterbacks regress over time conversation. That's where we're going to be.
Well, I'm telling you, last night was a complete nightmare for every 49er fan that dismissed Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins lit this defense up for 378 yards in front of the coach who has complimented him every step of the way. Unsolicited, Shanahan would bring up Kirk Cousins.
Do you think they FaceTimed on the way home last night?
I think there was. What was that conversation like on the field before the game?
It's a great question. You guys hear what Troy Aikman said during the game about Kirk?
No.
He's been really good here tonight. He sure has. Everybody has an opinion on Kirk Cousins. He's a top 10 quarterback in my book.
Top 10 quarterback. Well, you looked like it last night. And I can't take nothing away from him. But now, this Niners defense had a chance to end the Kirk Cousins conversation for good. We had a chance to end it. No, it's alive and kicking, folks. Especially if Brock Purdy produces in the fourth quarter the rest of the way like he did last night in the fourth quarter.
So I struggle with this so much. I felt like part of the reason why they were even in that game, CMC fumbled early on. They get an interception, boom, CMC fumbles right away. That's not on Purdy. The interceptions are. But I thought part of why they were in the game was because of Purdy.
Purdy played well the first three quarters.
So then when he doesn't play well in the fourth quarter, I get it. Fourth quarter matters. I'm not here to say that it doesn't matter. How much do you weigh it, I guess, is the question.
The fourth quarter's money time.
I know.
That's what everybody's watching. It's clutch time.
That's how
it's
the
crunch
greats
time.
are the greats.
The greats are the greats.
Joe Cool is a fourth quarter comeback.
It's the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Do we ever bring up the first three quarters for Jimmy Garoppolo?
When we talk about Steph Curry, it's because of the fourth quarters.
Exactly.
And when we ripped him, it was because of the Game 7, 2016 fourth quarter. You're 100%
Money time.
right.
Money time.
You're right.
Money time.
You're right.
That's all I'm saying.
But I felt like the guy, Colt McKivitz sucks. And he was under duress, and he was making plays, and then it just evaporated. The drop-back passing game, when they need to throw, and they have to throw, it's the one element of the Shanahan offense that I just think leaves a lot to be desired.
They scored 17 against that defense last